Hello, this is Marvin Glotfelty. I'm here with another industry-connected video from the National Groundwater Association. I'm a hydrogeologist and licensed well driller from Arizona, and I want to talk to you today about recent increases in cost and reductions in availability in materials we rely on for installation of wells. So the two primary ones, perhaps you could even say the three primary ones if you include filter packed sand, but the other two, of course, would be steel casing and screen, or PVC, and cement or angular seals. So those things have really increased in cost in just the last few months. And there's a couple of reasons for it. The economy is robust, so we're getting a lot of demand for water wells, but we also have a lot of inflation, and we have the recent wars in Ukraine where that have actually impacted us here at home, not only because of things like fuel costs for shipping of materials, but also directly into the steel costs. So I read an article recently that reported that there is a index for steel costs called the London Metal Exchange, I believe is the name of it. And from March 4th to March 8th, those 4 days, there was a 300% increase in the cost of raw stainless steel. So it went from somewhere around $29,000 a ton to $100,000 a ton, 300% increase in just 4 days. Why? Well, a lot of the nickel required in stainless steel comes from Russia. There you have it. With the Ukraine issue, Ukraine war, it's now impacting us from that standpoint. So there's a reason. All right, so that is what it is. What I'm saying to you guys is we don't need to, we need to convey this. This isn't us making big profit. This is a global situation. Similarly, for reasons I'm not sure, but I know that it's occurring, cement, at least in my part of the country, I'm in the Southwest, is hard to come by and has driven up cost. It's hard to even get a batch of cement. It used to be you would call a day ahead of time. Now you might have a month or more lead time before you can get a batch of cement. That means some drillers who were used, for larger production wells, they usually get it brought in batch trucks. Well, they're having to mix their own on site because there's no other option. They can't get cement. And so we have to think this through. Okay, are we going to still be real picky about all the additives to the cement? Probably should be, because it does have an impact on the well. And so we need to work with the contractor, between the hydrogeologist and the contractor, to be sure that it's going to be what we need, but also recognize that the cost, at the end of the day, I'm seeing costs that are maybe not quite doubling, but they're much, much more than a year ago. So wells that used to be, a certain price might be 80% higher than that, or so. I mean, really change in cost, and that's for reasons. And so that's at the starting point. We need to be sure that the well owner understands this, and that it's coming from the state of the world, and not because someone's gouging. So that's just a communication obligation. We can't do much about it except for ride through it, but we can communicate well. So I'd recommend to do that, and just study your sources, not only when they can arrive, because that has, of course, a huge impact. If you drill an open borehole and you're waiting for casing, or you have a cased borehole and you're waiting for cement, you may have it come in on you, and now it's the driller's obligation. So but yet it wasn't the driller's fault. So that needs to be rolled into the entire program. It needs to be at the outset before you ever spud in. It needs to be put there so that we can, because there is the other part of that is there's a bona fide water need. There's need for groundwater. So we have to be able to do the job, and to do that, we work together, not against each other. So thank you for that, and consider all these things, and I will look forward to talking to you next time.